The climactic moments of the story of Purim in the Megillah is when Esther sends a messenger to Mordechai to find out why he's walking around with sackcloth and ashes. What's going on? And Mordechai notifies her about the terrible decree taking place against the Jewish people and says to her she's got to do something. And she basically responds like, what could I do? I haven't been called to the king for 30 days. And Mordechai says, listen, the Jewish people will be saved one way or another. It is you and your family who might be lost. And who knows, mi yodea, if it is not for this moment that you have become queen. And one of the questions we could ask is why Mordechai couches the request from Esther with the words, who knows? In other words, saying, I don't know, or maybe. Wouldn't it have been more emphatic if he said, Esther, this is why you're queen. This is your moment. This is why everything happened, because you will save the Jews. He doesn't put it that way. He says, who knows? So the Rebbe explains it like this. He says that according to the Alter Rebbe in Tanya, that every soul comes into the world in addition to a soul in this world needing to fulfill all the mitzvot. There's actually one mitzvah that is unique for your soul. Every soul has a mitzvah that is specially the reason that that soul came into the world. And that's the mitzvah you need to do. Now, this is not necessarily logical. It's not something that we could understand intellectually. It's beyond logic. It's called Gairo, like Purim, which means lottery. It's the lottery of Hashem that decided that this soul should come into this world for this particular purpose, to the extent that the Baal Shem Tov says that a soul comes into this world for 70, 80 years just possibly to do someone a favor. There's a story of the Rebbe where someone really needed to ask the Rebbe something and he wasn't able to get a private audience. Someone advised him, why don't you go near the Rebbe's home when he comes to his house, stand there and you'll then approach the Rebbe and tell him what you need, which he did. And the Rebbe asked him questions and took some time from the Rebbe. Well, after that, other people approached him and really rebuked him. He said, do you know how precious the Rebbe's time is? How dare you stop the Rebbe on his way going home? That was wrong. So he wrote a letter of apology to the Rebbe based on what people told him. And he got a response from the Rebbe. He says, how do you know that my soul and my wife's soul didn't come down into this world for the purpose of helping you at that particular time? What Mordechai is telling Esther is that, not that who knows if for this reason your soul didn't come into the world. No. He's saying to her, this is the reason your soul came into the world, and it's beyond logic. It's beyond knowledge. That's why you're here, to save the Jewish people. So even though it doesn't seem like the ducks are lining up and you haven't been called to the king for 30 days, this is why you're queen. Now go do what you need to do. And Esther absolutely achieves it and saves the Jewish people from a decree that was worse than any decree that we've ever had. And this, the Rebbe says, is a story of a Megillah to teach us, each and every one of us, that in addition to the fact that our soul being into this world means that we have to involve ourselves with Yiddishkeit, with Judaism, with all the mitzvot that we have, but we also have to know and have to see all circumstances that come our way, if they might be telling us, hey, who knows, it is maybe for this reason that your soul is here. It is a favor to someone, it is to teach someone, it is to... There's a mission. We have, as a Jewish people, a mission. I've been saying this throughout, that the fact that the spotlight is on the Jewish people means there is a mission that the world is waiting to hear from us. Not negative, but positive. We have to be a light unto the nations. And we can be, and we will be. And you have to see yourself in your environment, whichever it might be, and the circle of influence that you have. Who knows if that's not why your soul came into this world at this time? To be the source of light and goodness for the people that you have an ability to have an effect on. That's something that we really have to think about, consider, and act on. And that's why on Purim we celebrate how? Adalayada. In a way, to drink until you don't know the difference between blessing is Mordechai and curse is Esther. What does that mean? It means to say that you go beyond logic, that your commitment to truth doesn't have to always be thought through, thought out, making sense at that particular time. You know in your gut, in your feel, that this is how it is, that this is truth. You know, this is one thing that we're doing in the course that we're teaching now, to learn how to live a life of meaning. And going a step further, a life of purpose. Who knows what your purpose is? Come join the course. Maybe you'll have the tools to figure out more clearly, to get the understanding of what our purpose of being here is. Because when we live with purpose, it means we live with so much of a fuller life. Absolutely much more meaningful. Good Shabbos.